Good evening, everyone, especially the person in the audience who has their phone turned on. That was just like perfect timing, wasn't it? This is the time when I will remind everyone to turn your phones on to silent. So good evening and welcome to the Orange County School Board's regularly scheduled meeting for this Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. We are so grateful to have all of you all here. Most of our board members are attending in person. Member Ferrant is trying to join us virtually. I believe she is on a mission trip and out of the country and maybe approaching the border, and I don't know exactly where she is, but I commend her for the work that she does. She joined us yet? Okay. At some point, she may be able to cue in. If so, we'll recognize her in the minutes at that time. As a reminder, board members will not be engaging in outside electronics, digital communication during the meeting, so we can focus our full attention on the immediate matters before us. To my fellow board members, district staff, and any members of the public who may wish to speak, when speaking, please speak directly into your microphone. Obviously, make sure it's turned on. We want to make sure our YouTube and Orange TV viewers can hear you clearly. So we will begin our meeting as we begin every meeting. We'll stand for a moment of silence, and we invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. She's on. Okay. And now for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we begin our recognitions, let me start with a question for Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams, our deputy superintendent, is filling in for our superintendent, who is finally getting a well-deserved vacation with her family. With that, Dr. Williams, are there any changes to the posted agenda?
Jacobs, there are no changes to the agenda.
All right, seeing that there are no changes, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as requested? Motion by Vice Chair. Is there a second? Second by Member Salamanca. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Oh, I'm sorry, Member Ferrant.
Aye.
Thank you, Member Ferrant. Motion carries unanimously. And let the record reflect that Member Ferrant has joined us. All right, Dr. Williams, do we have any newly appointed administrators? I hope you're going to say yes, because when the room is this full, it either means there's something very controversial, we've done something very wrong, or we're going to recognize a lot of wonderful people.
Chair Jacobs, we have 20 administrators that will be introduced. At tonight's board meeting, I reached out and talked with the majority of those in this group. I wanted to ensure them, or to let them know that I'm subbing for Dr. Vasquez, and to also simply say congratulations. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Let me add before you start, because I don't think I've ever said this. This is one of my favorite parts of the meetings. This and when we have the students come in. But I love this because for those of you who are joining us and aren't being recognized, we get a little glimpse of your personal walk and journey, the people who have touched you. And I always am so inspired, and so excited. And so I don't know who started this process of recognizing and giving you this opportunity to tell us about you, but for each one of us up here, it's very meaningful to us.
Let's get started. The first, and I would like to apologize up front if I mispronounced your name, even though I've taught with you 2 and 3 times. I apologize. Okay, Kachai Aalon is the resource teacher at Lake Weston Elementary School. And she's will be the assistant principal at Pine Lock Elementary School. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start by thanking God for getting me here. I would not be standing here without him. I would next like to thank the superintendent, the school board members, and the school board chair for this opportunity to serve OCPS, and the students and the faculty and the staff. Next, I would like to thank the STO leaders, Dr. Wyndham, Mr. Bond, and Ms. Flores for the past experience I've had in STO and the continued support and experience I will have. Next, I would like to thank 3 mentors that are here with me today. I have a lot more, but I'm going to recognize only 3. The first one is my big sister, Rose Applehunt Simon. I've looked up to her since we were kids, and I'm excited to do this journey as an AP with her. The next person I would like to recognize is Ms. Megan Rivera. She is my most recent principal at Lake Weston Elementary. Thank you for the first opportunity out of the classroom and just trusting my big ideas. And my third mentor, I'm actually going to get to be working under her, Ms. Jeray Mays. She is the principal of Pine Lock Elementary School. Thank you so much for just believing in me, and I look forward to growing and learning with you. And last but not least, my family sitting over there and my friends sitting over there. Thank you so much for showing up. It means a lot. The support means a lot. You guys have spoken life into me, and I'm looking forward to serving everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Charlene Barbier. She's the resource teacher at Sunshine Elementary School, and she will be the assistant principal at Shingle Creek Elementary School. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to give thanks to the Lord, for He is good, and without Him, I would not be here today, and for that, I am grateful. Thank you, Chair Jacobs, school board members, Superintendent Vasquez, Deputy Superintendent Armbruster, and Deputy Superintendent Williams. I would also like to thank Principal Leader Charles Linlow and Principal Leader Carletta Davis Wilson, as well as Dr. Henderson, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you to my former principal leaders. I'm really nervous. Thank you to my former principals and leaders for sharing their knowledge, guiding me and supporting me throughout this journey. Ms. Ross, I've had Ms. Katie Phillips, I've had Ms. Biddick, I've had Ms. Correa, Dr. Martin, I've had Ms. Lazzarini. I've had a wonderful principalship, leaders, and mentors, and I am really thankful for everything I've learned from them. Most importantly, I would like to thank my son, who's here with me today. He is my greatest supporter. He's my inspiration to become better every day. I want to also thank my husband in heaven for being a rock, my motivator, and always believing in me. Although he's not physically here with me, he's always in my heart and every step of the way next to me. I want to thank my mom, my family, my friends, but especially I would like to thank 4 of my good friends who have been throughout this journey with me. They are Rebecca Gamboa, Brenda Ortiz, Katrina Nichols, and here with me today, Miss Kim Hutchinson. She has been more than a friend. She's my sister, she's my mentor, and I am blessed to have her in my life. I am truly excited to be part of the Panda family, and thank you, everybody.
Next, we have Marquis Becket, Program Specialist, School Transformation Office. He will be the assistant principal at Catalina Elementary School.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to begin by first giving thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for being a continuous blessing in my life. Superintendent Vasquez, Madam Chair, all the distinguished members of the school board, I really thank you for giving me the opportunity to to further enhance, my role to help these students, as an assistant principal. My STO family, thank you so much for embracing me and showing me what it means to be able to play these different roles and be a leader. To Dr. Wyndham, thank you for all these years for being a great mentor to me and pushing me to improve and to acquire the skills that's needed to help me in my journey. Now, to my wife, Melanie. I have to thank you so much. Sorry about to cry a little bit, but you're my rock.
All right.
I wouldn't even went this far in this journey. She's there for me every step of the way, from being a paraprofessional to now being an assistant principal.
Oh my God.
And to the rest of my loved ones, thank y'all so much. It means so much for your support to be here to help me, in my journey. But last but not least, to Ms. Anderson, my new principal. Thank you so much, for choosing me, to allowing me to be up under your leadership at the great Catalina Elementary School. And I know I'm saying long, but all I gotta say is this: get ready, get ready, get ready. New things, great things.
Next, Michelle Belton, the resource teacher at Sand Lake Elementary School, will be the assistant principal at Phyllis Wheatley Elementary School.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank God for leading me to this place in His perfect time. I'd like to thank the school board and school board chair Jacobs, school board member Ms. Bird from District 7, Dr. Vasquez and Dr. Armbruster in their absence, Dr. Williams, Dr. Jones, and my principal leader, Ms. Carolero. I first want to thank Ms. Nash, who was my 4th grade teacher, who actually is the reason I am in education today. Also, a special thanks to Ms. Carletta Davis-Wilson and Alma Lazzarini. They first hired me on the spot at Shingle Creek when I first came to OCPS. I want to thank my mentors, Taisha Spates and John Miller. Laura Supernard, who was my principal for many years, thank you for seeing the leadership qualities in me and giving me opportunities to lead and impact our schools. Special thanks to Katie Phillips, my principal at Sand Lake Elementary School. My years with you have been absolutely amazing. I've grown so much and really appreciate your support and encouragement. I will greatly miss my Stingray family. And to my new principal, Miss Tabitha Brown, I am so excited to support you and join the Wheatley family and continue to serve our families. I must thank my parents and siblings who I hope are watching from South Carolina or Vegas or wherever they may be. And to my amazing husband, Bobby, he has been my #1 supporter and cheerleader and told me it is my time now, so here I am. And to my children, Scotland and Annabella, thank you for all the hugs and love and congratulations. Mommy loves you. And lastly, to every teacher, student, or family that I've ever served in any role in my career, I will carry you all with me as I serve as an assistant principal, and thank you to the friends and family that came here to support me today. Thank you so much.
And next we have Robin Brooks, Program Specialist, ESC, Instructional Support. Robin will be the assistant principal at Windermere Elementary School.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful, wonderful to be here tonight. I want to first thank our school board and Dr. Vasquez and Dr. Williams and Dr. Armbruster, who I know is not here, for this amazing opportunity. I've been in OCPS for a long time, and I've dreamed of this day since I was a little girl, teaching all my stuffed animals and telling them all what to do. So I have lots of people to thank. I want to start with the very first mentor, the very first principal that I served for, Dr. Joanne Loggins, who's no longer with us, and my AP, Susan Abbey, who really saw this leadership in me before I even thought it myself. I want to thank my parents. My dad is here, Morty Brooks, for buying my very first book of Dress for Success, for having me listen to many, many tapes of Zig Ziglar. And you are such a leader by example of what it's like to serve the people around you and the people in your life. So thank you. I want to thank my mom, who passed away in July, and say, I did it. I did it. She was a longtime educator, and she just said, this is what you're born to do. And I really, really believe that. Next, I want to thank my greatest accomplishments and my biggest blessings, and those are my kids, Trustin and Madison. Thank you for being here. I know that you guys have big lives, and so I appreciate you being here and taking the time to be here to support me. And I want to thank my team, my ESC instructional support team, our ESC Dream Team. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you. I've learned so much from you, from each of you. And so thank you for being here to support me. And last but certainly not least, my mega mentor, Janet Biddick. I have served with her at Sunset Park as a teacher and then a CRT instructional coach. Traveled with her to Marion County as a program specialist, and now get to serve as an AP alongside you. So thank you for leading me, for teaching me, and encouraging me along the way. I wouldn't be the educator I am without you. So thank you.
Next, we have Karen Brown, Program Specialist, Parent and Family Engagement. Karen will be the Assistant Principal at Tangelo Park Elementary School.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Superintendent Vasquez, Chair Jacobs, and the school board members for this opportunity. Many thanks to the STO team, STO office, Mr. Bond, Dr. Wyndham, my principal leader, as well as my mentor. To my mom, my husband, and my amazing village, thank you for your continued support, your continuous and unwavering support. Principal Kimball, Senior Administrator Davis LaRue, and my Tangelo Elementary's family, thank you for allowing me to serve under your leadership as we continue to support student achievement. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Shemica Chambers, Resource Teacher, Rock Lake Elementary School. She'll be the Assistant Principal at Rock Lake Elementary School.
Good evening. To begin with, I would like to thank God for the many blessings He has bestowed in my life. Thank you, Superintendent Vasquez, Deputy Chairman Jacobs, and the School Board Committee. Thank you to my children, Taneri and Jacob, for being my best motivators for achieving success. To my mom and Sister Adrienne Anderson and family, thank you for encouraging me and instilling in me that hard work, determination, dedication can take you places you would never imagine. Thank you to my best friend Tiara Simmons for always giving me words of encouragement and positivity. I have also had the opportunity to work with some great leaders who gave me my first start, which is Ms. Lakeisha Miller and Samuel Danner, for being a part of my success as a teacher, coach, and now a new assistant principal. Thank you to my STO family, Mr. Bunn and Dr. Wyndham, for believing in me and paving the way to serve as an assistant principal at STO. To my Rock Lake family Beavers, thank you for supporting, encouraging, and believing in me as a coach, now as your assistant principal in a school that I have served for the last 3 years. And to my principal, Miss Melanie Simmons, thank you. You have been one of my biggest cheerleaders, motivators, and mentors. You have taught over the years for me to be the best version of myself. Believe that you can do it, and do it. I am forever grateful for my growth and guidance under your leadership. You have always pushed me to my full potential. I am so grateful for that. You have set an inclusive environment that has helped me soar to many heights. I pledge to continue to build capacity in teachers, students, and the community. I will continue to foster a positive environment and culture at Rock Lake Elementary, where we believe that knowledge is power and every student has a right to achieve academic success. Go Beavers.
Next, we have Joyce Conner, the Assistant Principal at Metro West Elementary School, will be the principal at the Oak Hill Elementary School. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Williams, who was also my assistant principal when I was in high school not too long ago, right? It was not too long ago.
High school?
Yes, in high school. It was a little while ago, just like 10 years. Okay, so thank you so much. And school board members, Dr. Vasquez, Dr. Armbruster, for this opportunity. I'm super excited, as you can tell. I give thanks to God because without him, and I'm going to cry, but without him, I wouldn't be here today. And yeah, this has been an amazing journey for me. It has only been 15 years, but I feel like it's been forever because I've been in so many opportunities, so many different schools with so many different amazing leaders. I want to give thanks to my first and my forever principal. He was actually my principal in middle school, and he hired me. And I'm so grateful for Mr. Shadow, who has long retired. But Mr. Shadow is amazing. All of my principals, Dr. Angela Murphy Osborne, Miss Angela Clayton, Mr. Kip Montgomery, Dr. Juliet Genie, and my wonderful principal now at Metro West, Dr. Sherry Donaldson. I appreciate you guys for trusting and believing in me and pushing me. I want to give a special thank you to district leaders, Miss Wendy Ivory, Mr. Charles Linlaw, and Dr. Raheem Jones, because they pushed me to finish PFPA, and I should have listened many years ago, but I thank you for getting me here. To my family and my friends, my wonderful husband in the back, Tony, my biggest fan. I'm his biggest fan, but he's also mine, because we support each other, right? Teamwork. My friends, my children, I'm so grateful for all of you. I would like to give a special thank you to my dad. And I know that people have said this, but I actually wore my dad today because he's been gone for a while and he has not seen me through this journey, but I know that he's with me here today and I'm so grateful for that. And I know he would be extremely proud of me. So I'm wearing him as he is in heaven. And I'm just grateful for this opportunity. I'm super excited to be at Oak Hill Elementary School and to be with my Eagles and my family and my community. And we have so many years and so many great things to do. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Next, we have Morgan Fakay, resource teacher, Horizon High School. Will be the assistant principal at Kelly Park School.
Thank you. Thank you so much, school board members, Superintendent Vasquez, and staff for this opportunity to serve at Kelly Park School. First, I am very thankful to my family, to my husband, Preston, and my son, James, for their support and encouragement throughout this process and in all facets of my life. Second, I am thankful for the support and guidance given by the Horizon High School team, and am extremely grateful for Principal Andrew Jackson's encouragement and mentoring these past 3 years. I am sure that I would not be where I am today without his help. I cannot forget Horizon AP's Anthony Rustle and Shannon Tomsikowski, who are here tonight, and their innovative mentoring and unwavering support, which has been and will be invaluable to me. I will miss the faculty at Horizon. They are some of the best people to work beside every day. I would also like to thank Dr. Fritzler, Principal Leader James Leslie, former Kelly Park Principal and now Principal Leader Kelly Steinke, and Kelly Park Principal Helena Gergoni, for giving me the opportunity to become a part of the Kelly Park team and serve the staff, community, and students. This is an opportunity that I am extremely humbled to be offered and grateful for. I'm looking forward to working with the Kelly Park team to promote student success and helping continue to foster the positive culture and climate that has been established by Principal Leader Steinke, Principal Gergoni, and the faculty at Kelly Park. Again, thank you so much, and go Panthers.
Next, we have Tracy F, hope I got that right, resource teacher, Wolf Lake Middle School, will be the assistant principal at Cypress Creek High School. Congratulations.
Thank you, board members, Superintendent Vasquez, Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Williams, Mr. Martinez, and my new principal leader, Ms. Chang, for this opportunity. A huge thank you to my new principal, Marisol Mendez, for trusting me to help lead Cypress Creek High School. I'd also like to thank Dr. Leptakis for putting the AP bug in my ear 12 years ago, and my current/former principal, Cindy Howe, who's been with me for the last 12 years. She's taught me so much. Finally, none of this would be possible without the support of my husband, who took over dinner duties while I did homework to get my leadership degree. I am not taking those duties back. I'm so excited to be at Cypress Creek Bear. Bear down.
Next, we have Laura Harding, staffing specialist, Arbor Ridge K-8. Laura will be the assistant principal at Lakemont Elementary School.
Thank you. I would like to thank Chair Jacobs and the members of the school board, Dr. Armbruster, Superintendent Vasquez, and Dr. Williams for this incredible opportunity. I would also like to extend my deepest and heartfelt gratitude to Ms. DeMars, my current principal, and Mr. Honahan, for without your encouragement, mentorship throughout all of these years, and for being there for me through all of the ups and downs. I would also very much like to thank my new principal, Mr. Fox, for welcoming me into the Lakemont Elementary family. Thank you also to my family for their support, and I hope that they know that without them, I could not have made it this far. Thank you.
Next, we have Thomas Calumet, the principal, Pine Grove Elementary, Hernandez, from another county. Oh, wow. He will be the principal at Ventura Elementary School. Congratulations and welcome to Orange County Public Schools.
Okay. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Good evening. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to God for his guidance and blessings that have led me to this moment. It is with humility and profound appreciation that I stand before you today, grateful for the remarkable opportunity presented to me. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the esteemed members of the school board, as well as Dr. Vasquez, Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Williams, Dr. Jones, and Dr. Leftakis, for bestowing upon me the role of principal at Ventura Elementary School. I am truly honored and privileged to have been entrusted with this responsibility, and I am committed to serving our students, faculty, and parents with utmost dedication. I'm beyond excited about collaborating with my new colleagues at Ventura. I am confident that we will achieve great things to continue to build a supportive and thriving school culture. I'm committed to pursuing excellence and ensuring the best possible educational experience for our students, faculties, and families. This journey would not have been possible without the unwavering support of my loved ones. I want to express my deepest gratitude to my parents, Henry and Carolyn, and my sister Kara and her children, Caden and Braden, whose encouragement have been a cornerstone of my success. To my children, Tom and Carlin, and her husband Grant, and my wonderful grandchildren, and my best friends, Grayson and Miles, thank you for your love and support. You are my inspiration every day. And to my wonderful wife, Jennifer, who is also an educator in Orange County, for her unwavering support and belief in me. Your presence in my life is a source of great strength. I'm honored to be here and look forward to serving the Orange County public schools.
Welcome. Thank you. Next, we have Victoria McDonald, language arts teacher, Accord High School, will be the assistant principal at Dr. Phillips High.
Thank you so much, school board members, Superintendent Vasquez, Dr. Williams, and staff for this opportunity to serve as assistant principal of Dr. Phillips High School. I also want to extend a great big thank you to Mr. Martinez and Dr. Dispenza from the high school office for their support and trust in me to carry out this very important role. I first want to start off by thanking the Lord for this opportunity. We're called to many mountains, but I'm so honored that he's brought me to this level. He's orchestrated this moment so that I'm able to make change. So I thank him so much for trusting me with that. I would like to extend my gratitude to my mentors. First, Dr. Lisa Karsinski for being a masterful leader. She is exemplary person to learn from, and I'm so honored to be chosen and selected to serve under her. She's taught me so many things, and nothing is ever a challenge. If I want to do something, she's asked me, what do you want to do? And then that's it. She'll ask me questions to help improve the process, but overall, it's never a no. She's always there for me. So thank you so much, Dr. K. To AP Amanda Jenkins Austin, who has been my rock over the last several years, and she, with one phone call, I'm here. I've sat on this for many years, but she was the catalyst to this process, so thank you so much. I owe you everything. AP Verhas Wagner and AP Green, thank you so much. Everything I ask for support, it's always a yes. You've motivated and encouraged me, so thank you so much for always helping me. To Mrs. Jennifer Groh, who is my greatest cheerleader. I don't think I can do anything wrong. In her eyes, she can see my abilities from far away. Every challenge that I've had, she's always reminded me of so much I can do. So thank you for holding up my arms as I've gone through all of this. And then to Ms. Jackie Ramsey, I've been under her leadership for the past probably 10 years. This is my third school that I'm able to serve up under her, and she's taught me so much, and even to this day, I use things that she's taught me. So thank you so much, Ms. Ramsey, for trusting me, for creating spaces. Anytime I say I want to do something, she creates a space for me to grow and evolve as an educator, and I literally would not be here without her. So thank you so much, Ms. Ramsey. To my pastors, Apostle Andre and Pastor Lady J. Williams, for your spiritual guidance and wisdom and your continued support. Thank you so much. To my mother, Apostle Vanessa Hayes, I literally would not be here without you, literally. So thank you so much for everything, night and day. Any hour, she is always there. So thank you so much. To my family, my twin sister, my little brother, my little sister, thank you so much for everything. You're my greatest cheerleader, so thank you. Thank you to my partner for your continued support, and to my family and friends. And I'm so excited to be a Panther and support the students and staff as well as the high school office. Go Panthers.
We have Omar McKnight, resource teacher, Tangelo Park Elementary, will be the assistant principal at Tangelo Park Elementary School.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I would first like to give honor to God who continues to keep me and guide me on this journey we call life. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Superintendent Maria Vasquez, School Board Chair, and all esteemed school board members for affording me this opportunity to serve as one of the many assistant principals of Orange County Public Schools, a role which I do not and will not ever take for granted. Thank you to my STO family for helping me to deepen my knowledge and grow as an educator. Thank you to Dr. Bond. Thank you also to Dr. Wyndham. For those of y'all who may not know her, she always has a sports analogy. And finally, I've decided to step into the game tonight and become an AP. A special thanks as well to my previous administrators, Dr. Helton, who first gave me a job, as well as Dr. Ramirez. They always continue to provide me with support and opportunities to help me grow. And as well to them, they would always say, you're going to be in leadership. And I would always shake my head and tell them no. And they were right. I would be. To my parents, my mother cannot be here. Hi, Mom, because I know she's watching. Family, friends, those as well who are watching live, thank you for your continued support and believing in me every step of the way. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Master Principal Marlene Kimball Jackson and Senior Admin Mrs. April Davis LaRue for giving me the opportunity to serve under their leadership, and cannot wait to continue supporting the students, staff, families, and community at Tangelo Park Elementary so that we can continue to strive for greatness. Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Dena Matava, who is the resource teacher at Dillard Street Elementary School. Dr. Dena will be the assistant principal at Citrus Elementary School.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited and honored to be here today. Thank you, School Board Chair, Dr. Maria Vasquez, Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Williams, for this opportunity. I want to say thank you, huge thank you to my mom and my dad. They encouraged me to reach for the stars. Thank you to my kids, Timur and Samir. They're on vacation with grandma out of country, but they're going to be watching a recording. Thank you to my husband, Adele. You are my cheer team, my rock, my inspiration. Thank you for your support. I'm also very grateful to the mentors and peers that supported me along the way. Christopher Daniels, Felicia Goodman, Felicia Smith, Dr. Sarah Lucas, and fantastic leader and a mentor, Tiffany Smith. Thank you so much for your leadership and your wisdom. I'm going to miss you. Now, last but not least, thank you to Robert McClaw and Mary Clark for believing in me and for this incredible opportunity. I'm so excited to be a honeybee. Thank you.
Next, we have James Montgomery, the assistant principal at Piedmont Lakes Middle, will be the principal at Piedmont Lakes Middle School. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, school board members and Superintendent Vasquez and staff for this opportunity to serve at Piedmont Lakes Middle School. I'd like to personally thank school board member Melissa Bird for giving me this opportunity to serve at Piedmont Lakes Middle School in District 7. I've been employed for Orange County Public Schools for 27 years and all within District 7. I will continue to work towards increasing student achievement with our Title I schools and provide enriching and diverse pathways that lead to our student success. In addition, I would like to thank the following district and school leaders who have helped enhance my professional growth as a school administrator. Dr. Fritzler and Dr. Trimble for your guidance and motivational encouragement. Dr. Raheem Jones, who saw qualities in me to enhance my professional development at the middle school division. Lakeisha Miller, who mentored me in my transition to a school administrator and instilled in me the importance of displaying joy unto others. And Dr. Frederick Ray, who granted me leadership opportunities that allowed me to be recognized at tonight's board meeting. I look forward to build on the academic success that the students at Piedmont Lakes Middle School have achieved under the leadership of Dr. Frederick Ray. Also, I'd like to thank my family members who are celebrating with me tonight. My daughter, Jamie, my son, James Jr., my wife, Esposa Delmi Naomi, who is participating virtually tonight's meeting, and my son, Jonathan, who is viewing tonight's meeting. Thank you for being an inspiration in my career. I love you all. Te amo. As one OCPS, I will be great. I will retain a great staff at Piedmont Lakes Middle School and I will ensure every student has a promising and successful future. Thank you.
Next, we have Patrick Rock, instructional coach, Clay Springs Elementary. Patrick will be the assistant principal at Sally Ride Elementary.
That's right. Thank you, everyone. First of all, thank you to Dr. Williams and the members of the board. I really am very excited to join the Sally Ride Elementary School family. So thank you to Khalil Ortiz, my new principal there. I'm looking forward to supporting our students. Thank you to my mentor, Dr. Rebecca McDade, who is now the principal over at Wyndham Lakes, but was at Clay Springs. I can't thank you enough for all the opportunities and all the knowledge that you've shared. Thank you also to Dr. Jones, Mindy Smith, and Miss Miller for your support and encouragement in the last 4 years. And last but not least, thank you to my better half, Lisa, for pushing me and asking, why aren't you in the AP pool yet? My daughters, Olivia and Sylvie, they're watching right now on live stream because they have dance nationals. So I've been watching them all day during a training, and now they're watching me. Thanks.
Next, we have Sean Roper, acting assistant principal, Odyssey Middle. Sean will be the assistant principal at Odyssey Middle.
I would like to first thank God, my beautiful wife, Natasha, and our wonderful kids, Tatiana, Yasmin, Alejandria, and Sean II, for being by my side. I would also like to thank Dr. Vasquez and the board members, Dr. Bailey, Dr. Y, my current principal, Ms. Snyder, and my past principal, Ms. Jefferson, who mentored me and pushed me for greatness. I would also like to thank my Odyssey family, who has welcomed me with open arms, and my Robbinswood family for all your support and mentorship throughout the years. Lastly, I would like to thank all my family and friends for their support. Thank you.
And next we have Germaine Thompson, instructional coach, Chain of Lakes Middle School. Germaine will be the assistant principal at Gotha Middle School.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the school board members. I would like to thank Chair Teresa Jacobs. I'd like to thank Deputy Superintendent Armbruster and also Dr. Williams. I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to serve at Gotha Middle School. I want to thank Dr. Bailey and Dr. Fresler for giving me the opportunity to serve with my new principal, Ms. Monica Emery. I'm excited to be at Gotha, excited to be a Grizzly. There's a few people I would like to thank also along the way. I'd like to thank my first principal, Mr. Andrew Jackson from Bridgewater, my Bridgewater family. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me throughout the time. I'd like to thank Nicole Mutters. I know she's watching online. I'd like to thank my current principal, well, until the 1st of July, Dr. Walker at Channel Lakes for also giving me the opportunity to serve as his instructional coach. It's been a very great opportunity. I'd like to thank Ms. Shannon Tomsikowski. I'd like to thank my Horizon family also. A few names I'd like to thank also, Miss Amy Klaber, and I'll also like to thank, getting nervous. I want to thank my mom, who's not here. She passed like 5 years ago. She was also an educator for over 27 years. She's taught me the importance of an education. I did not, I'll just say she's my rock and she's my everything. And I'm so proud of what I am accomplishing, and I know she is looking down on me. I'd also like to thank my better half, Shalava, that's also looking online. My adopted mom, Qualita Glasgow, and my adopted dad, like Desmond Glasgow. I'd like to thank my family back in Guyana, South America. I know they're watching online also. And for anyone that I forgot, I'm super sorry. I am nervous. But I am happy, again, for the opportunity to serve the family students of Gotha Middle School. And I will continue to live the vision of OCPS. And I'm really happy to be a Grizzly.
And last but not least, we have Jessica Vasilison. Hope I got that right. Perfect. Thank you. Senior Administrator, Elementary, Middle, High Schools. She will be the principal of Chickasaw Elementary School. Congratulations.
Warriors. Thank you so much. I would start by thanking the school board, Chair Jacobs, Dr. Vasquez, Dr. Armbruster, and Dr. Williams. I have it later on in my speech, but I will thank my husband for making me last tonight, for giving me that wonderful last name. I will thank him again. But I also want to make sure that I do thank our executive leader, Dr. Jones, and principal leaders, Dr. Leftakis and Ms. Hankerson, for this absolutely incredible opportunity. To my new Chickasaw Elementary family and community, thank you for coming out tonight to be with me. Thank you for your trust and for the honor of joining your team. I am thrilled and I am grateful to become a Chickasaw Warrior. I would also like to thank my mentors and support systems, including principal leaders Lucretia Miller and Rob McClough, for your leadership, guidance, and encouragement. And a very special thank you for my first principal, Jocelyn Gladden, for being an amazing example of leadership and for being my mentor through every stage of my career. I would truly not be here without her. Finally, thank you to my entire family, those watching from home and my family that is here with me tonight, for your support, your flexibility, and your understanding and sharing me as I serve the students and community in OCPS. To my parents, Jean and Joe, although no longer with us, I know that they are guiding my path every step of the way. And most importantly, to my husband, Brian, my daughter, Aubrey, and my son, Owen. I should not have looked at them. Thank you for your love and your strength and for always being my why as I continue in leadership. Thank you so much.
To the chair and to the board, that is it.
Yes. All right. Did not disappoint, did it? Is there anybody in the room right this minute that's not feeling good? Yeah. Okay. Let's take a picture. Can we get all of our new appointees? Woo.
Congratulations! All of you in District 5 for the count. Congratulations!
So getting close, shingle, shingle please, turn sideways, shingle, 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 inhale. Good. There's a gap, fill the gap. There we go, good, good. So proud of you guys, listen so well. Good, look happy and on 3, good, 1, 2, and 3, stay there, look super happy, a little bit more happy, get free parking. Hold on, 1 more. Hang out there for people that love you. Go cell phone people. Let's do this. Look at that side of the house first. And you guys get my photos in case your iPhone photos don't work well. Good. Let's look at the middle of the house. Nice big smiles, cheesy. And then for the people that love you over here. And then wave to the TV. And have a seat.
Before you all leave, Member Felder has something to say, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be bragging rights because she's been keeping track of how many of these appointees are from her district. We're not competitive up here or anything like that. Member Felder.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to District 5 where the talent resides. Yes, I'm so excited, and this is an exciting time as Chair Jacob said. We get excited listening to your stories and how you've arrived at this point. And it's so interesting because before you got the appointment, we all got calls from your area directors and the talk to us and we ask questions and so forth. Yeah, this is going to be a good match. This is going to be good. It's going to be good. But, you know, I'm wishing you all the best. We've had some challenging times in this school year, but every one of you that spoke, you spoke with such enthusiasm and you spoke with a heart of appreciation. And it does something for me to see that you're happy, because the road is not going to be easy, but you have been equipped for such a time as this, and you have got to embrace that truth. I thank you for your dedication to public education, and I want to do one more last shout out to my cousin, Jocelyn Gladden, is here in the audience. This is my first cousin. One of your principals wanted to say she was grateful for your help. Jocelyn, just raise your hand right there. See that? Where is she? She's not here? Okay, I thought she was there. She must have left. She left. But anyway, I want to thank you all for coming out and the support from your family. And you have a great board up here. You know that, right? Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Well said. Well said. All right, I'm going to encourage you all to stay with us for one last speaker, and that is Mr. Ron Pollard. He's president of the Orange Educational Support Professional Association. Where are you, Ron?
Right here.
Okay, Ron is such a phenomenal leader,
and you also almost gave me a new title.
I know.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
But you did me such a favor, because I really did want them to stay.
Yes, I did too.
Congratulations, Member Bird and Felder.
Yes, 4 more years.
4 more years, yeah. I know it's not an easy job, but we need people who would do it. Really, all I really wanted to say, well, 2 things. Number one, I wanted to say, give a shout out to those, especially those 10-month employees who are giving up their summer to work in the summer school. They are servicing our kids. And I'm so proud of them. So I figured I'd use my moment here to recognize them. But the second thing is, I sent a lot of notices out to principals and assistant principals saying that my team would be visiting your school. Probably won't be me, but it'll be some of my member organizers and stuff like that. I wanted to recognize them for the great response I've gotten back. The hospitality, I'm like, wow. I love when people cooperate together. You can't see the button, but it say together we rise. And I want them to realize, all of you new appointees, you know who I'm talking about. My good friend back there, I'm so proud of you all. Keep moving up and keep remembering these kids deserve an opportunity to learn and to rise like you all did. And basically, that was it. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And Ron, we are so proud of you. You do such a phenomenal job, and he represents a very, very important class of our employees, and don't ever forget how valuable they are. We could not do what we do every day. A lot of people, they pay attention to what this board does, or what the district does, or what the principals do, or what the teachers do, but not enough people, I think, pay attention to the hard work that's done every day by your professionals. So thank you. Thank you. All right, with that, you all get to go home if you want. If you want to hang around and see some exciting meeting, but otherwise you can go. Paint dry, that too. Oh yeah, you're like, uh-oh. Time for new glasses.
so glad Sugar Creek got some new.
All right, before all right, the competitive banter goes back and forth. All right. Let me ask John before Mr. Palmerini, before I go through a lengthy list of what you can and can't do. Let me ask you, do we have any public speakers?
We do not on the policies, but we do have one speaker on item 8.02.
And 8.02 is?
The approval of the Simon Youth Academy Memorandum of Understanding.
On the consent agenda?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Madam
great.
Chair.
Thank you. Well, I'll make some comments before we take up public comment on that. But let's begin then with public hearing 3.01. And that is a request for approval of a repealed board policy IHAR, digital learning. Dr. Williams, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair Jacobs. I heard digital learning. The work session was held on 4/30/2024. Notification to CTA or ESPA 5/22/2024. Published date 5/26/2024. Root Development Workshop 6/11/2024. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do we have, we don't have any public comment. Do we have any board comment or questions? And I think we have lost member Ferrand due to technical challenges right this moment. So if we don't have any questions or comments from board members, we have already had quite a bit of discussion on this as we went through the process, and I think it's fairly straightforward, but I will entertain a motion at this time. Vice Chair.
So moved.
And Vice Chair has offered a motion, a second by Member Salamanca. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All members present voting in the affirmative, the motion passed. So we are now on 3.02, and that is a request for approval of revised policy JIC COSC Code of Student Conduct and the 2024 Code of Student Conduct. And Dr. Williams, you're recognized.
JIC COSC Code of Student Conduct 2024. The work session was held on 2/20/2024, 4/9/2024, and 5/21/2024. Notification to CTA or ESPA 5/22/2024. Published date 5/26/2024. Root Development Workshop 6/18/2024. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And let me recognize first Member Gould and then Vice Chair Gallo. Member Gould, you're recognized.
Madam Chair, before
I'm sorry.
I apologize. So just wanted to make the board aware. You all received on Sunday, June 23rd, a comment from R.J. Mueller, excuse me, regarding the discussion about pepper spray, and it dovetailed with the lengthy discussion we had at the Rural Development Workshop last week. Given that he has given you a public comment, to the extent the board would like to revise the advertised policy to make the changes discussed at last week's Rural Development Workshop, the board may do so. So I just wanted to put that for your awareness before you all go ahead and have discussion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palmerini. I think that was important. I think most of the board members were aware, but I think it was always extremely important to let the public know the basis on which the board may discuss and possibly make a change as a result of that. Now, let me recognize Member Gould.
Well, Mr. Palmerini summarized exactly what I wanted to bring up, and I would move forward a revision of that change that we discussed, taking the specifically pepper spray, anything under 2 ounces off of contraband, and as long as it does not appear outside within the school, that it is not a level 2 or anything else, which is in brief what I recall from our discussion, the direction that we were going. If it is taken out, if it is show and tell, certainly if it's used, it already goes up to a level 4. But based on the discussion of the board, and I think the safety concerns we had for students more off campus than on campus, that for students who are having to come to and fro school and may feel, they and their parents may feel more secure with them having something that is legally not contraband under state statute.
All right. Thank you, Member Gould. Vice Chair Gallo.
Thank you, Member Chair. Madam Chair. Member Chair, I'm making up my own words now. I agree with Member Gould. I have a question for Dr. Williams. When we shared this policy concerning the pepper spray and it being allowing on campus, did either Mr. Pollard or Mr. McCracken, did they respond with any concerns about the policy as is?
They were, of course, whenever we have the work session of the rural development, of course, they're aware of that. I am not sure if they were in attendance, but that actually gave them an opportunity to respond. But other than that, I'm not aware of any input that we've gotten from either.
So they've provided no input on the okay. Thank you. I'm just curious to know, because the last thing we want to do as a board is implement what we believe to be good policy that our teachers or staff might believe otherwise. In the email that Mr. Pomerini cited from Mr. Mueller, he did suggest, which I thought was a really good suggestion, about having it registered. And I mean, it doesn't have to be something that we do that is complicated. It could be a Google form that goes in their CUME or gets attached to Skyward, so that the only people that know that the student has the pepper spray is the parent and the administration at the school. And then as long as it's not shown, there's no consequences. If it's found on somebody that hasn't registered the pepper spray, then it kicks in. It's a reminder. The level 2 is kind of a reminder, like, get it registered, because the next time this will be a level 3. The time after that, it'll be a level 4 if not registered. But if we make it super easy for parents to do, then we'll know who has it. The school will know who has it. And then if it's ever brought out, obviously it's a level 4, it's consequences. And then if it's not registered, then the consequences per our code of conduct kick in, including the progression of consequences. That would be, I think that is a good idea. I'd be interested to see or hear what the board thinks. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vice Chair. Member Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Member Gallo took right out from my notebook what I was going to say. I was going to suggest the same thing that was in that email. I agreed that I thought it was a great idea to have a way for parents to register their child to carry it if they feel that their child needs it for safety. And then, as she said, a level 2 if it's found without it being registered, to warn them to get it registered, and then of course higher if it's used or pulled out. And then for probably more of an operational thing, I also had earlier in the year sent these storage boxes to Dr. Vasquez and Dr. Armbruster that are one of my schools has for cell phones, so that staff does not have to touch or deal with them. And they're little clear plexiglass, they're hung on a wall, and the student goes in, puts their phone in, and takes it, and takes a lanyard key, and they have it all day, and then they go back at the end of the day and get it out. I would love for us to explore that. That school that has them in my district got them on Amazon for $180. I think it would be great to be able to have that in our middle schools and high schools for the students to put them in, because I still am a little nervous about the kids carrying it, as I expressed at an earlier work session. But I also strongly feel that we have to allow students to, parents to feel safe for their kids. So I'd like to explore that further, but I am in agreement with what Member Gallo said.
All right. Thank you, Member Byrd. Member Kester-Dennell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This discussion that we had last week was it was wide-ranging. It was interesting, but I don't think we necessarily landed with a real solid point. It sounds like right now we're kind of coming to terms with what we're assuming that a student can bring a 2-ounce container of pepper spray to be held on the school property, but only for their safety coming to and from school. And I know, I mean, I spoke in favor of looking for something different. There's got to be another way so that we're not penalizing students who are trying to maintain their safety on the way to and from school, especially if they're in the dark or, you know, waiting for a bus early in the morning or going home after school. And I didn't think it was fair to penalize a student who has to have that kind of, they're in that situation where they might be alone. But at the same time, I know many of us were still troubled by allowing students, any student, to have pepper spray on them at school. So when I replayed the discussion in my head and the whole conversation and tried to kind of go forward with what would this mean practically if this policy is in place to students who right now do not carry a pepper spray, would they then feel like it gives them permission? And I do worry that this would give permission to more students to carry it, not just the ones who are concerned about their safety. And when we looked at the data, I think Member Gallo, you had asked or you had found that when we did those searches, the random searches of students, that there were only 3 instances where students were found to have the pepper spray in their bags. Was that correct?
I think it was 3 instances where they used it. There was 103. Yes.
29 was just possession. Can you tell us what those are in the mic?
Chair.
Go ahead. You recognize? I'm sorry, member.
I think the numbers, if these are the ones that went out, possession only was 20 and 25. So I think these are 2 different years. We might need Tashonda come here, clarify. 45. Found in random screen or search were 29 students. Students that actually used, sprayed, or, actually used them was 12 students. So those are the numbers.
Okay. So for those 29, it sounds like, that were found on those searches, it still concerned me that we were possibly really altering our practice. And it also occurred to me that as I was playing out the safety protocol of the family reunification and student reunification, and all the levels that we have of safety put in place, that this might be going a step too far by changing our policy. And so I was trying to figure out, is there a way to land in the middle? And I like what Member Byrd was mentioning about the pouch that would allow a student to have that safety to and from school, yet it restricts their ability to even remove it while they're on campus. And some other kind of solution might be necessary as well, such as registering with a parent, but not necessarily making it so easy that a parent just gives permission to override our consequences, but that they must also demonstrate or attest to the dangerous situation that their student is in. I think there might be some other room in here to adjust this policy so we're not going too far one way and too far another way. Those are my concerns right now.
Thank you, Member Castrodano. My thoughts were along the same lines. Member Felder.
Thank you. I too had a moment since our work session to think about this policy, and I thought about it from the perspective of being a teacher in this, am I on? In this district for almost 40 years. So this is my stance. I don't want any pepper spray at all. Police officers have 3 weapons. They have a gun, they have something that like a billy club, and they have pepper spray. They have them because they're a weapon. I'm clear and understand what the state statutes about under 2.5 or what have you. But from my experience in watching students who fight, when they get in fights, my concern is that while they are fighting, if they are losing the fight or maybe winning the fight, and they decide that they want to get an upper hand, they're going to pull out that pepper spray. Now, we on the board, those of us have children, we've trained them and we know our capacity of our children and we know what we've taught them. But everybody that the 240-some-thousand students in this district may not have that same frame of reference to draw from. My concern is that as a teacher, I can't go on campus with my personalized gun. It's a weapon. I can't, even if it's in my car, in my purse, in my desk drawer, I cannot, and whether anybody knows about it or not, if it's found, there's going to be some concerns because it is a weapon. Police officers would not have pepper spray on them other than using it as a weapon. The other concern I have about pepper spray is that if a person is frightened or if they are caught up in a fight and they pull that pepper spray out and they spray, the children who are not necessarily watching the fight but trying to run away or trying to go to class, it expands. You don't know whether children are asthmatic. You don't know whether or not they have a heart murmur. You don't know any of those things. And if that spray gets them, and we got 20 or 30 kids going to the hospital, then the student that did it, if it's in our policy that it's a level 2, we can expel. And I think when you add so much added information about, well, if they pull it out for this, if they do it for that, then we need to do this. I understand my fellow board members, and especially those of you, all of you that have biological children, boys and girls. Boys need protection too. I fully understand your thoughts and your feelings. But when I had my pepper spray, there was only one reason why I took it. It was a weapon. If you came at me at night, I'm going to pull it out. That's the only reason why I had it. So, because I know that students, and when you're angry, not just students, adults, when you're angry, your adrenaline is flowing, and you're not sometimes thinking correctly, you're going to pull it out, because that is a weapon to stop whatever is going on with you. And so, my fellow board members, whatever your decision is, because I know we vote on a majority, but I'm going to let you, I don't want it to go on record. I am not in an agreement with pepper spray under any circumstance. Hidden, 2.5, under 2.5, 3. Pepper spray is a weapon. If we're going to allow them to bring pepper spray, brass knuckles, knives, guns, let them bring it, because those are weapons. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Member Felder. Let me, because we don't have a lot on our agenda, I want to take a minute because we do have a scout troop here with us. And I want to back up and make sure that it's clear what we're talking about. So I'm going to look to the troop leader. Do you want me to try to summarize what our current policy is and what we're looking at? I'm sorry, who did I just hear from? Absolutely. I'm sorry. I hear another voice coming through on the microphone. That's what I was curious about, a woman's voice. Did anybody else hear that? Okay. All right. So let me kind of summarize. So we are looking at the student code of conduct. And the beginning of each year, we send that student code of conduct up to all the parents. We have it reviewed with all of our students, and it lists all the things you can and can't do. Up until now, the student code of conduct has not allowed pepper spray. We've had a series of consequences depending on whether it's your first time or you've already been warned. And we have also treated, this is a nuanced thing, we've treated pepper spray as contraband. Contraband is a term for basically things you're not allowed to have, so that's kind of redundant. The board, at our last prior to our last meeting, at a previous meeting before that, we started questioning whether or not some of our students that are bringing pepper spray to school with them out of concern for getting safely to and from school, not for the use at school, but because they may live in an area where they feel that it is dangerous to walk without a way of defending themselves. In terms of is pepper spray a weapon or not, I think if you consult law enforcement, they will probably use the term defensive. The intent of pepper spray is not to use it as an offensive weapon. It is to use it as a defensive weapon. Having said that, that doesn't mean that an individual couldn't pull it out and use it as an offensive weapon. It would generally be a bad idea because when you spray the pepper spray, unless you have goggles and a air mask, you're going to also be affected. So out of consideration for the student safety that are maybe bringing it to protect themselves to and from school, we wrestled with the value of having that protection in place versus the potential risk to our students, our teachers, our employees in the event that a student inadvertently uses the pepper spray or a student intentionally uses the pepper spray. Now, if they intentionally use the pepper spray, it's a level 4, they're out of the school. If they accidentally use the pepper spray, it's the same problem for everybody around in terms of the impact. Pepper spray, I've not experienced it, but from the little bit of research and from the law enforcement officers I've heard from since last week, is very, very debilitating. And if you're asthmatic, if you have heart conditions, it can be more serious. So the feedback I've gotten in the last week, that's kind of the background. The feedback I've gotten in the last week, and even like at the end of our meeting, I was still not 100% comfortable with this big of a step. And it's such an important issue that I hate making that decision without a confidence level that we have looked at all possibilities of safeguarding our students, our teachers, and all of our employees against the accidental discharge. We discussed at the last meeting that if we make it very public that we're doing this, that we may have more people bringing pepper spray than we currently have. One concern that I have is that we may have parents who wouldn't have sent their kids to school with pepper spray because they weren't worried about safety to and from, but now that they realize that some other classmates may be carrying pepper spray, that we may have parents who feel that given some of the dynamics in our schools and some of the bullying situations that we have, regrettably, that some parents may feel that they need to send their kids with pepper spray as a defensive posture. And Mr. Mueller's suggestion about registering so that a parent has to go on record saying, I'm aware that my child is bringing this, they need it for safety reasons, and I'm okay with this, is a step. The step that I am comfortable with, though, is a step that requires the pepper spray to be confiscated as soon as they arrive on campus. And we are not at a point yet that we know how to do this. At the beginning of our conversation, and I'm going off a recollection, I'm not trying to put words in the superintendent's mouth, and she's not here. So if I say something, Dr. Williams, that is not what you remember, please correct me. But at the beginning of the discussion, I know the superintendent was not confident there was a way to do that. Towards the end of the conversation, the superintendent did propose an alternative, which was not to make this change at this time, for her and her team to evaluate the potential for a way to house the pepper spray, to look at what other jurisdictions have done, if we have any examples, and not just across the state, but nationally, and to revisit this. And I think the idea was to do this for this year, revisit it next year. I am a lot more comfortable with that approach. And we're going to take a vote here tonight. My vote is, as much as I understand the importance of keeping all of our students safe arriving to and from school, the concern about making sure that our students are also safe at school, and lacking, in my opinion, enough information about what that risk really translates to, I will not be voting to make that change at this time. With that, let me go. Is that help clear up a little bit what the issue is? Okay, thank you all. All right, let's go to Member Gould.
Thank you, Chair. And I would support the approach of investigating it, but I think we're now mixing apples and oranges of our discussion. The apples are pepper spray being used to and from school, never seen on campus, one way or another. Not it coming out and being used. That's an automatic level 4, period, the end, they are expelled. That doesn't change. That part of the policy doesn't change. Where we started this discussion was around the 20 kids that got random screenings that after a second offense, if their parents still wanted them to carry that pepper spray, would go from a 2 to a 4. And they could be the most perfect attendance kids, have straight A's, be involved in everything, and because of that issue would suffer consequences for carrying a gun, the same consequences as carrying a gun, carrying brass knuckles, carrying marijuana and being found, starting a fight, threatening another's life. And I just don't see that same weight. So I don't want to mix the apples and the oranges together. I want to be clear on that. And I am fine with punting it back to the staff, not killing the issue, but punting it back to the staff to find the ideal answer, which I think they could. But I just don't want people to think, oh, we're going to let them put pepper spray in so they can come in and use it every time they feel threatened, because they will be expelled. And they will get 180 days out of school, period, the end. So that's what I want to make clear in this discussion, is this was never, ever, ever about casually using it or even taking it out to show to somebody. This was truly about a family's decision to make sure that when they are not on that school campus, they are as safe as when they are on that school campus.
Thank you, Member Gould. Member Vice Chair Gallo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with what Member Gould just said. The heart of the issue here is if someone is carrying it and it's found on them through a search, and it was 74 students, by the way. 74 students over 2 years were caught with either possession only or it was found in a random screening or search. So 74 children that out of 208,000 students. So it's a very, very small amount of students that actually had pepper spray on them, but those students were leveled 4 because it was considered contraband and it was considered a weapon under our code of conduct. And I don't disagree with what Member Felder or Dr. Castor-Dental or the chair's concerns. I 100% agree with those concerns. We don't want our campuses to be less safe, but as Member Gould pointed out, all those stay in play. If it's used on campus, it's a level 4 and you will be suspended, potentially expelled for the use of that weapon. It's strictly for those who are trying to be safe. And if the family, and if we just were to put in the guide, it has to be registered, and it's not registered, then the level 2, level 3, level 4 all still go into place. We're not going to advertise that we're doing it. They're going to be looking at the code of conduct. If they get caught with it, it'll be a level 2. They'll go to pass, and that will be the reminder. You need to register it so that we know that you have it. And those who really want to do harm, those who are looking to do harm on our campus, are going to do harm with pepper spray if that's what they wish to do, whether it's allowed or it's not allowed. Us not allowing it isn't going to prevent them from using it in a fight on campus if they feel it's necessary, and then they'll receive the consequences of that. What us having this policy in place will do is not allow for parents to give their children something, a device that they feel will make them safer when they're standing in the dark at bus stops for long periods of time because our buses are historically late, or they're walking to and from our campus in the dark or through unsafe neighborhoods. It just does give them that added precaution. I am fine with letting it go through as is, and just to be clear, as is means that it's still just a level 2, and it's not a level 4, and then have the staff go through and review it and come back to the board simultaneously, as we discussed in the rule development workshop. I don't have an issue with this. I would love to speak with Mr. Pollard and Mr. McCracken about it. I have had nobody reach out to me. I've had nobody come to me and say, Angie, are you out of your mind? I've had nobody reach out to me in regards to my position on pepper spray. So if you're out there and you're listening and you think I'm way off base, you need to email me and let me know, please. I do have a question, and I don't know if it can be answered, but I know that we had a pilot with our metal detectors. Do our metal detectors, do they detect that canister? Would they detect pepper spray if it goes through?
No.
The scanners, they don't. Is that no?
We have Chief Holmes in the back, and
He's
we
in the
have Mr. Pacheco. Perhaps one of you all can answer the question.
I want to know.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I am extremely uncomfortable
That's
talking
why I
about
said I didn't know if I was allowed to ask it. Okay, that's fine.
Security.
I'll
Never
find out.
mind.
Never mind, Chief Holmes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'll find out offline.
I'm sorry, Mr. Palmerini. I thought you were leaning in to answer the question. I appreciate you leaning in to stop.
I wasn't sure. I was in my mind, which is why I said I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question or not. I didn't know if it would kind of break safety protocol, so that's fine. I get that.
Okay.
So that's my position. I think the board is kind of leaning towards, or some of leaning towards, let's look at it further in detail, push this one through, and then we can reevaluate. And I'm fine with that process as long as it remains as a level 2. If we're talking about moving it back up to a level 4, then I'm going to need further discussion. Thank you.
And Member Gallo, when you said that we're talking about starting at level 2, the progression. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Member Byrd, and then Member Salamanca.
Thank you. I just wanted to share with the board something that happened in my district probably about, it was before COVID. We had a young lady who was a senior, and they did a search probably I'd say maybe 2 months before the end of the year, graduation. And she had pepper spray on her keychain, completely forgot that she had it, and her mom reached out to me because she was given a level 4. She wasn't allowed to, participate in anything at the end of her senior year. They weren't going to let her walk, nothing. And the mom reached out to me and told me that she, put it on her keychain. She feels so guilty because she put it on her keychain because she closes a store, a little retail store at night in the dark, and she didn't want her daughter out at night, closing the store by herself without it. And she's like, I put it on her keychain and I just forgot. And, and it's just, this isn't right. And so we went back and forth on it for so long, but I think that she was able to walk, but she ended up missing everything. She missed prom. And this was a straight A honors girl that, had she missed her senior awards night, and I was at that senior awards. They called her name probably 20 times for different awards, and she wasn't able to be there. So she missed everything from her senior year because of this pepper spray on her keychain. So it's just, that's what I don't like about the level 4. I feel like if it's put away and concealed, that's different. And as Member Gould said, it's two different things we're talking about. If it's pulled out and intentional, that's totally different than carrying it concealed, put away. I would still like, of course, to explore a storage idea. That would be ultimately the best thing. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. And again, what's on the table would have allowed that student to proceed because it would have been a level 2 as a warning. Member Salamanca.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with the members on this board who feel that the question here is not should we have pepper spray. We know that it is not safe to have pepper spray on our campuses, and of course that's not the option. We don't want to just open the floodgate to this. The discussion is really about the consequence of it and just how disproportionate and severe it is that a student who is not using this defensive weapon is getting a level 4. It feels so severe and disproportionate when many times it is parent approved. And so I have strong opposition to having that. And it sounds like 100 or 200 students are impacted by this, but that's 200 students that probably many of them don't have a record, and all of a sudden they have a level 4. I had also 2 students in my district that I've heard about that I had great grades, very well engaged, never had an issue, and it went from great record to level 4. And the parents were freaking out of like, how did this happen? I forgot. It was also one of those where the parents forgot that it was there, the student forgot that it was there. And that just feels unfair. And it's one of those that when you're in this district and we get told constantly that you feel like a number as a student or as a teacher, this is one of those things and one of those policies that make people feel like a number. Because you're just like, that's just the policy and we don't like pepper spray, and too bad that you're a valedictorian at this school and going to Harvard. You're going to get a level 4 right before, and we don't care. Deal with it. So I just don't feel comfortable with that. I obviously know that we want to keep our students safe, but I also don't want to ruin a student's record with a level 4. It just feels so severe. We believe in progressive discipline everywhere else in our code of conduct, and somehow we don't have it here. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. There's a huge disconnect here. Did all of y'all have a chance to read the letter that came in? I'm assuming it came to all of y'all from a naval. It was a letter from a former naval officer. It was long, but it was very, very good, I thought. And what it talked about was so often we're arguing about things. It was about propaganda and how propaganda leads us to be on separate sides of things and not clearly understand each other. And there's so much more commonality in what we collectively think, but propaganda leads us in a different direction. Not that anybody is intentionally doing that, but what I said was misunderstood. I'm very sure of that. So let me try again to explain what I meant, because I didn't do a very good job. And then I think there's also still some confusion about if we vote for what we have right now, we will have progressive discipline. It will start with a level 2. Somebody is not going to have this permanent scar. So the concerns that Member Salamanca just discussed, if we pass this without changing it, are addressed. Where I was coming from, one other thing, this is just a technicality, but we have 74 students, and I keep hearing this, out of 208,000. Reality is, and I don't know the number behind this, we have 74 students that were found with pepper spray through the searches. That's 74 students out of the number of students that were searched. I don't know how many students were searched. It would be helpful to know that, but I know that the percentage of 74 divided by 208,000 is not correct. So So one of the pieces of information I think would be helpful to me is to have a better idea of how prevalent it is. So the concern that I was talking about, and yes, absolutely, if more students bring it to school and a student uses it for any reason, they're expelled. No question about that. The reason I think that that possibility increases is if it is widely known, and I think if we're going to say you have to register it, that becomes a little more widely known. Parents that would not have otherwise let their students bring pepper spray may allow them to bring it because it's allowed. Some parents and some students may be worried because they know other students have pepper spray that maybe they need pepper spray. Doesn't make any sense because it's not a good offensive tool, but as other board members have mentioned, in a case of a fight, if you have it, even though that's not why you intended it, might you use it? So the more pepper spray we have on campus, the higher percentage possibility just of an accident or an intentional use. So that's what I was trying to explain. And if anybody understood me to say that a student is not going to be disciplined if they use it, absolutely. And that nothing that we're doing here is authorizing or encouraging students. I just think a byproduct of it could be an increased presence, and an increased presence increases the possibility of either an accident or even an intentional use when we have, for instance, the average citizen doesn't hear about it, but a major campus disruption. Those kinds of situations, does somebody become tempted because they have it with them? I don't know. When we say you can't have it out, does that mean you can't have it in your pocket? If you have a jacket, can you have it in your jacket pocket? Some of these issues I don't think we've nailed down completely. That other thing, Member Bird, you had a chance to read it. The other thing in there talked about all the detail that we put into driving a car. All the specifics about, a turn lane, and can you turn if it's a dotted line versus a straight line, and where you can park and how you can park. All of these complicated rules so that when we get in a car, we have a chance of driving safely. Makes sense. And yet when it comes to major policy issues, we so often just want a quick yes or no, when policy a lot of times needs to be more complicated. So that's my time. Let me go to our general counsel, and then Member Gould, you're up next.
Madam Chair, I was queuing in for Member Ferrant, who would like to speak.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take Member Ferrant, and we'll come back then to Member Gould. Member Ferrant, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Can you hear?
We can kind of give it a shot.
Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say that I'm in favor of the way the policy is, as Member Gould and Member Gallo have stated, as well as Member Salamanca. I think we do need to just research it more and have the staff researching that a little more to get better details. But I too have seen students who were disciplined, given level 4s for having the pepper spray concealed in their backpack. It is only a safeguard when they're walking to and from school. And so I think we need to definitely look into the way we can word that and communicate it well with parents. It's something that we wouldn't maybe encourage, but if the parent is feeling that is the only way to keep their child safe, or give them kind of peace of mind as their child is walking to and from school, then I'm in favor of that, where it's a level 2, and then it would, if it ever comes out of the backpack at any time during school, it would be a level 4.
All right, thank you, Member Ferrant. I'm going to call on Member Gould, but I'm just, again, to make sure we're all on the same page, the public who's viewing us, I think we have complete agreement on the board that it should not be a level 4 if it is a first-time offense and it's not used.
No.
It should not be a level 4.
I'm not in agreement
Okay,
with that.
all but Member Felder is in agreement that it shouldn't start as a level 4. It should start as a warning. I understand you're not in agreement. Thank you for clarifying. And Member Gould.
So, I am fine with, again, I'll repeat this, with it passing what we have described tonight with making it a level 2 and progressive. Here's the thing, though, about progressive. So, Member Byrd brought up an excellent example. If I were that mom and my child was still working and closing a store at night, they're going to have the pepper spray on their keychain. And if they forget to take it off or they have it in their backpack and it's caught, you know, and it happens twice, it's now progressed. But it's the same harsh reaction for somebody who is concerned about their own well-being or their child's well-being in a circumstance. And we have kids doing that all the time in high school. They are working a lot of retail jobs. They are working in attractions and coming home late and having to take the bus and having to get rides with other people and having to walk and having to close up. And it's, so again, I'm in favor of us continuing to work on perfecting this and landing it somewhere where we all feel more comfortable with it. And I like that it's a level 2, so it would catch a lot of it. But let's understand that in that particular case with that child, I'm not sure mom would have encouraged her to change her behavior. I don't know that I would if I were the mom of that child who was closing a store on her own late at night.
Thank you, Member Gould. Member Felder?
Thank you. I am still of the opinion that the use of pepper spray on campus should be a level 4. Let me give you an example. Okay, no. If unused, hidden, clandestine, what level 4? There was a woman who left for Turks and Caicos. She forgot she left her ammunition. She, whatever her job was, she got another bag and she forgot that she had put that ammunition there. So she was not planning to use anything because she didn't have a gun. She said ammunition. She didn't have any gun with her, just ammunition. She's still there because she's going to get up to 15 years because they say you cannot bring ammunition there. When I think about the children in my district, in the schools in my district, and maybe other districts, when fights break out, and they're going to break out, I'm thinking about the administrators. You have maybe 2 to 3, maybe 5 at the most at schools, but it's hard to get 5 because we just don't have enough people coming into administrative jobs now. If a fight breaks out and it becomes a melee, because that's what's probably going to happen if it's a lot of kids fighting, they're going to try to stop the fight. But the kid who has the pepper spray is going to start spraying, so the administrator that is trying to stop the fight, along with the kids that are fighting, and the police officer trying to disperse them, there's no way we can judge. We're trying to judge because we're humane, and we're trying to judge it the right way. But listen, there's no way you can judge whether or not a person, the valedictorian, the salutatorian, whoever, you cannot judge what's going to happen to them at that given moment. All I'm seeing, because I was at Edgewater when it happened, all I'm seeing is if the kids that are fighting, the students that are fighting, pull out the pepper spray. You got the SROs pulling out the pepper spray, and then you have administrators trying to stop the fight. everybody going to the hospital, or they may die or whatever if they have certain kind of ailments. And I thoroughly understand my fellow board members and how you feel, and I understand what you're saying. But if and what makes you think that if we just say it's, if they don't use it and this is it, everybody's going to have an excuse. Well, I had to use it because this and this and this happened. If a student can't bring his Glock to school or his brass knuckles and keep it concealed, because I'm not using that's for me going to school, on my way to school or on my way when I got to work, it's still a weapon. And I just want to reiterate the fact, because I know with where my district is, I know that there are some situations that go on that are very dangerous. They're very dangerous. And kids, I have students who live in certain areas in my district. They have to call their mama on their way home when they're going to late things at school to make sure that everything is okay, because the gauntlet of gangsters they have to walk through. And they need not only pepper spray, they need a Glock. They need something because it's dangerous. But it's against the rule. It's against the law. It's a weapon. Well, it may not be against the law, but it's still a weapon. It's a weapon. And I will continue to sing this mantra because I experienced it. I know how students think. I don't know how everybody thinks, but I know that when you are caught up in emotions, you don't think about the rules. You're thinking about protecting yourself. And I'm looking at the administrators, maybe 2, trying to stop 30 kids from fighting. And 10 of them may have pepper spray because we've allowed them to have it. They've never used it. It's for their protection when they go home, but they still got it on them. And the parents have registered them and all of that, but they pull it out. Because when you're afraid, you don't think, you're not rational. And they pull it out, and those administrators say they don't have no pepper spray. All they trying to do is stop the fight. And you pull out that pepper spray. The policeman got the pepper spray, the kids got the pepper spray. My board members, we can go back and forth. No, level 4. Concealed, unconcealed, level 4. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Member Felder. Member Salamanca.
I'm good with passing what we have today and deferring to staff on how we approach this. I know we're using the progressive part of it, and that's one of the key things of the changes that we've been advocating for during this process, right? But I still share the same thing as Member Gold on. There are going to be parents who are still going to feel unsafe, and God forbid you're just one of those kids that get out of luck and you happen to have 2 or 3 searches. Maybe that's not the case. So I think getting some numbers on what's the likelihood as a kid you get, more than 2 or 3 searches in a year would be helpful. But we can talk about that obviously for safety reasons, maybe separately. But it's one of those things that I think it's a concern. I think we care about everyone being safe, but I'm okay with the policy being what it is. I prefer it to start at level 2 and work our way up. But yeah, I am sorry for all the students that went straight to a level 4 from the beginning. It's unfortunate that was the policy.
Thank you, Member Salamanca. Member Gallo.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. And I know we're going around and around. I just, I say up here from the dais a lot, we can't let consistency be the enemy of common sense. And sometimes, especially when we're trying to put together the code of conduct, that's exactly what we're doing. We vote in favor of consistency versus common sense sometimes. And I'm going to give you an example. And actually, it was Member Felder that reminded me of it. It wasn't too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I had to go to jury duty down at the courthouse. And I walk in, and I think it was at Christmas or prior, my daddy had given me, it was a pocket knife. It was a big pocket knife. It was probably like a 4-inch blade pocket knife. I carry it in my purse all the time. I never take it out. Never remember that I have it there. Gone into the Capitol with it. It passes through. You can get into the Capitol with a pocket knife. But you can't the courthouse in Orange County.
Well, good.
And so, but I didn't get arrested.
the cops didn't come swarming around me. They said, ma'am, you have a pocket knife. You have two choices. You can take it to your car where it can be safe, or you can throw it away. That's common sense. And that's what, and I'm not saying we should, do not email me saying you said we could have pocket knives on our campus, because absolutely we cannot have knives on our campus. I just say this because, and even at our airports, when somebody is caught with, if they're caught with bullets and not a gun, or a gun that's not loaded, do they get arrested? Yes. Will they get prosecuted? Maybe not, depending on if they have a record. Like, there is areas of gray, and there is common sense, and it should prevail. Even with our students, like, it shouldn't be extremely black and white. So I will approve this tonight. And I do want to review it further and have further conversations on it, because I do believe that a student has a right, and a parent has a right to ensure that that child is safe. And as Member Byrd mentioned with the pepper spray, you forget these kids they're working jobs, they're in extracurricular activities, they're getting up at the crack of dawn trying to get on a bus or driving themselves to school. It's easy to forget, and it shouldn't alter memories that they will not have for the rest of their lives. It just shouldn't. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. I think I might be the last speaker. I'm going to sound very like a politician, but I'm sorry, it just happens to be true. I agree with what Member Gould said. I, as a parent, if I thought my child was in a life-threatening condition on a regular basis, I would put that above consequences. So I agree with you, and that's why I would like to find a way that we can accommodate it, but not have it in the classroom where it could accidentally, or I also think I agree with Member Felder. I think the more prevalent it is, the greater the possibility in a situation where you have a major campus disruption that somebody might feel threatened and pull it out because they have it. They have it because we've allowed it. So I recognize that risk. It takes me back to masks. And we wanted our children to be able to enforce masks when the state wouldn't let us. And we wanted to do that because we knew that some of our students, and even more than our students, some of our faculty and our students' families were very, very vulnerable to COVID. And we were trying to protect our kids through the defense of masks. We do the same thing when it comes to peanut allergies. We don't allow peanuts in school because not that one child has an allergy, but that some other child has an allergy and might come in contact with it. So when I look at the risk of pepper spray, if you have asthma or COPD or other illnesses, I also question, COPD? None of our kids have COPD. No, our kids don't have COPD. No, do any of our faculty, do any of our employees, do any of our janitors? I would suspect that's possible. And if someone becomes seriously ill, or we're just rushing an entire class of students to the hospital because they've been sprayed, and we're answering to those families that, yes, we allowed it. No, absolutely. It's a level 4. But why is it even in the school? Is that permissible? Well, yes. Right now, what we're talking about is no, it's not permissible, but you get a warning, which I think I agree. I think we all agree. I think it's a good place to start. And I also agree, we don't all agree, most of us agree, we're not finished. Because I feel like we get along really well on this board, and we like each other, and we're respectful of each other, and occasionally we have really strong feelings, and we debate, and maybe even argue. And so while it might appear to be an argument, I do want to recognize the validity of the comments of every single one of you, because I genuinely believe each of you have brought valid comments and concerns. And the most important thing is I know the place from which your comments come. And that's the reason that we get along so well, is that I trust your motivations and you trust mine. And I know that none of this is coming from a source of any kind of agenda other than what's the best thing we can do to make our schools as safe as possible and keep our students safe coming in to and from school. So with that, I'm going to call on Member Casterdental, and then I'm going to ask for a vote or a motion. Member Casterdental, you started this. Almost.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Before we vote, I want to make sure that we all understand what we're voting for and what we're voting against. So I don't know if we vote for the change, it would put the possession of pepper spray at a level 2. And then a second incident, if it is discovered during a search, it's not brought out, it is now level 3. A third would be a level 4. Mm-hmm. If it is taken out and found or used or not used, but it is seen, it's an automatic level 4. Mm-hmm. If we vote against this, what would happen to this policy that we're voting on? What would happen to the code?
We, at this point, would we be able to remove this single portion of the changes to the Code of Student Conduct?
You could make changes and remove portions dealing just with this issue, nothing else, right? You could remove and make changes based upon the discussion you have here. We have to pass something tonight because the way the advertising rules work, it's 28 days before a final adoption, and we can't have a rule development workshop 14 days on that. Like so I was talking with Dr. Williams here. If we were going to advertise a change in the policy to get it done by the July 30th meeting, we would have to have it to the newspaper tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So, and we certainly aren't there. So I would suggest that we pass the policy tonight, and whatever the changes on this pepper spray issue is whatever you all decide, but we need to have a decision tonight.
Do you understand the question from Member Casterdental is if we want to revert back to the original language on pepper spray, do we have that authority?
So bringing it back just to straight a level 4, yeah, I think you have that authority given the nature of the discussion.
All right. Member Casterdental, does that answer that question? Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair, I believe that means that we could vote for the proposed policy with a level 2, or we could vote for not changing the policy and keeping it at a level 4.
Mm-hmm. For first-time offense, yes.
For first time, yes. So this is so difficult. Mm-hmm. I would like, I'm not going to make the motion on this. I think we can make a motion. I would like to move to approve the new policy and make sure that we are continuing to research information, and if we need to, bring it back before the Thanksgiving break.
Okay. Can I?
Are those two separate?
No. I what I hear you saying is you move approval of the policy as advertised and direct the superintendent to further research options that could be brought back to the board sometime during this year or in the future to address the board's concerns about the safety of our students to and from school. Okay? Does that work? Okay. All right. We have a motion from Member Casterdental. We have a second from Member Gould. Okay, she'd like it before Thanksgiving. All in favor of the motion? Aye.
Nay.
Member Ferrand?
Aye.
We have a aye from Member Ferrand. Motion passes with all members in favor, with the exception of Member Felder, who voted in the in opposition. I do want to just one comment to our scouts. I think this was a much better example of public policy debate than our last meeting that your other participants came with. So I would really love to poll you guys after this to see what you think. Maybe I'll reach out to your scout leaders. I really want your feedback. Thank you. This will be very, very helpful. I know. I can't wait. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Very good. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. Okay. We're on to our next item, which I believe is to approve to approve or not approve the consent agenda. But before we take that up, we do have public comment on, I think was it 1802? Which one was it? Thank you. Vice Chair, I'm sorry. Vice Chair.
I have a question, but I can just select the speaker.
Okay. Our speaker is?
It is, and I apologize in advance, Cheyenne Chu.
And the item was again?
8.02.
Yeah.
She just graduated from the program.
Welcome. If you can give your name and if you're all right with it, your address, then we'd love to hear from you. You have 3 minutes. And zip code. I'm sorry. You don't need to give your address, just your zip code.
My name is Cheyenne Chu. I come from 32822.
Thank you. Okay, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
I am here to support Simon Youth Academy because it has helped myself and many other students who weren't able to work through a main high school due to many different reasons. I originally wanted to just drop out of high school and just forget everything, but a lot of people pushed me to go to school, so Simon Youth was my only choice, and I went there, and they completely changed everything around for me and my other fellow students. Because of Simon, I am now in college when I originally would have just been staying home. And yeah, it's helped a lot of students to get through high school, a lot of students who could have ended up homeless, maybe even a criminal, anything bad, negative. There have been a lot of teachers and staff at Simon Youth Academy who have helped to push us to be our best, go through things that we never originally would have gone through. I originally would not have ever been here talking in front of people. But yeah, Simon Youth is a miracle, and it has helped generations of students get through life.
Well, thank you. I am, I so appreciate you taking the time to come down and share that with us. And two, I am so very proud of you. I am so very proud of you. Doesn't sound that far away from where I was in high school, where I was like, I don't know. I never thought I would go to college. And it's amazing the difference that good teachers, good environment can make, and the flexibility. So again, really proud of you. Thank you. All right, Vice Chair Gallo, you're free. You did it. Hooray.
Good job.
Okay, good job.
Thank you. Several of us went to the graduations, and it's always great to hear the stories from Simon and the other groups. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Moody.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry. Cheyenne, don't walk away. Don't walk away. Cheyenne's being very modest, and what she's failing to share with the group is that she won a $5,000 scholarship from the Simon Youth Foundation to go to school. So we're very proud of her. I know her family's very proud of her. And we just wanted to thank her for coming out tonight to
Absolutely.
talk about her experience with Simon Youth. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Mr. Moody. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, Vice Chair Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question about something that's on the consent agenda. It's the K through 12 comprehensive evidence-based reading plan. So I don't know if I could, well, Dr. Williams, I'll ask you. So in the reading plan, which was very thorough and detailed, it didn't mention, we have the 4 model schools that we have with the Reed Foundation. It didn't mention the good work that we're doing in those model schools and the successes we've seen in the model schools, or the collaboration with the Reed Foundation. And I was just curious as to why, because it's been a huge collaboration and super beneficial to the district, and to highlight or showcase us working with other stakeholders to improve the literacy of our youth. I think the DOE would like to hear about that type of programming that we're doing in Orange County.
Dr. Williams.
Good evening, Board. Mandy Butterfield is going to join me this evening as we answer your questions regarding our district-wide reading plan. First of all, we would like to say thank you for those of you that have had the opportunity to attend our trainings on the science of reading. We look forward to you participating with us as we continue providing professional learning opportunities for our administrators and teachers. In regards to Member Gallo's question, when we are looking at our district comprehensive evidence-based reading plan, the plan asks for us to outline evidence-based practices that we are implementing within our district. We do have our 4 model schools. I believe a couple of sessions ago, our superintendent mentioned that we are going to look at possibly evaluating the effectiveness of those model schools based upon data. We do not have our finalized data for this upcoming year. So within the reading plan, our focus has been on structured literacy. It's also been based upon the programs that we are using to support our students that need Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction. Those programs that you see mentioned within the reading plan have been approved by the state of Florida and are on the list.
Okay. So,
Chair. Please, you're recognized.
So, so the main reason that the model schools aren't listed was just because there's no data to support the influx of resources has been, the data doesn't show that it's been helpful.
I can't say, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at this time we have not conducted the external evaluation to determine the effectiveness of those particular schools. This is a district-wide reading plan that we're looking at, so we're speaking to our district-wide initiatives within this plan to support reading. It really speaks to how we're providing professional learning to our administrators as well as our teachers. When you look at the plan, it talks about the work that we're planning to do this upcoming year with working with our reading coaches at all of our schools in elementary to ensure that they are going back and they are training our teachers once a month on the science of reading.
So the training that the Reed Foundation provides that we send teachers to for the week-long trainings that many of our teachers have already gone to and those are attending this summer, isn't that evidence-based? Like Orton Gillingham is evidence-based in its teachings. It is a training that our teachers are going to. So I'm just curious as to why we're not listing that training as well.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for your question. So in regards to the approach itself, it's research-based, not technically evidence-based. So the approach itself is grounded in that science of reading and is a structured literacy approach. However, it is not a program or have instructional materials that are associated with it. Much like the programs that you have all listed in our current plan, they have materials that are also part of the programmatic piece to it. They're also all listed within ESSA as research evidence-based, not research-based. So that's an important distinction to make there too. It's also important to note that we also don't have our AIMS pathway courses listed either, because it was specific to a vendor. So in that same way, we didn't have that explicitly listed in the plan either.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for helping me understand.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we vote on our consent agenda, I'm going to call on Member Gould, but then I'm also going to call on our auditor, Linda Lindsay, for a report on item 1501 that we're about to take up. Member Gould, you're recognized.
So I know Cheyenne left, but I wanted to go back to the Simon Youth Academy so that people would understand that this is one of the choice schools that really allows students to experience work and their education in an incredible blended way. And the more that we can create these pathways and get rid of the term traditional school path and begin to open up alignment to interest in industry for each of our students, that is the kind of success we have. The Florida Chamber dropped a report today that talked about nearly 1/4 of Florida's disconnected youth, 23.7%, or approximately 63,000 students, didn't finish high school and didn't go get their GED because they were disconnected. So it's programs like that and really honing in on our students' interests that will change and shape those numbers, because there's a lot of jobs available in Florida and we're not aligning those kids. That was 16 to 24-year-olds not working and not in school, which is 11.3% of Florida's youth.
Thank you, Member Gould. Rather brings home the point. Okay. Ms. Lindsay. Again, Ms. Lindsay is the school board's auditor. She's external to the administration. And we look forward to your report on your upcoming year.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the school board. I just wanted to tell you, this is on your consent agenda tonight. This is the annual audit plan that is derived from an audit risk assessment process, which is explained in an overview in your handout. We don't get too far into the weeds with that, but your audit committee does. Your school board appointed audit committee has been through the process in great detail, and they did review it and approve it at their meeting earlier this month, and they recommend your consideration for approval as well. It is a risk-based audit plan, not exclusively. There still is room for judgment and evaluation or consideration of circumstances. You will notice in the plan 3 categories of work. One is our IT audit work, which is largely performed by the IT auditor on our team. Secondly is capital work, which is largely focused on the sales tax program and related capital projects and facilities-related activities. And the third category is the work that the department does, the core work, which is primarily performance auditing. Now, as you may also recall, we do oversee some outsourced work for the school internal accounts audits. Those are managed by my department through a contract with a firm. And likewise, all of the larger capital projects have cost verification engagements performed to validate the actual cost pursuant to the district's contracts and a final settle up between the contractors and the district. You see those quite frequently in my reports. So what you have before you tonight is the background information about the audit risk assessment process at an overview level and a discussion of some of the risks that were considered in that process and the proposed audit plan for your consideration. And I'll be happy to answer any further questions that you may have.
Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda. Motion by Member Castro-Dental, seconded by Member Byrd. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Member Farran, are you still with us? Member Farran?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
Aye.
Double aye. All right. Thank you, Mr. Palmerini, for helping to keep me on task here. The next item is under non-consent, and this is to request approval to nominate and appoint the Florida School Boards Association Advocacy Representative and Alternative. And currently, I don't think, do we have any public comments on this? And I'm not sure, do we need to entertain public comments if we did?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Thank you. Member Gallo is the representative currently, and Member Salamanca is the alternate. Member Gallo is also taking on the leadership role at FSBA as their president. And so, president-elect. And so, first, I wanted to ask Member Vice Chair if she would be willing to stay in this position with her additional responsibilities.
I am happy to remain in this position. However, if there is someone else on the board that would like to be on the advocacy committee so that they can gain experience, I'm welcome for that suggestion as well.
All right, so before I open the floor for nominations, just Member Salamanca, would you be willing to stay in the position you're in? Okay. All right.
It is. I mean, there is some work involved. There's
Yes. No, I know there is. All right, so I'll open the floor for nominations.
I nominate Member Byrd.
I second that.
Wait a minute. Member Byrd serves on the on another committee with us.
And I nominate
and I'm
Member
on board of
Castro-Dental.
directors.
No. Okay, seriously.
I'm not going to be around.
I will nominate Vice Chair and as an alternate, Member Salamanca. Any other nominations? If not, the nominations are closed. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Member Farran?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Unanimous, and thank you very much, Vice Chair and Member Salamanca. Well,
I was just laughing at Member Byrd's.
do you have an acceptance speech you wanted to make? It looked like, okay, you were leaning in. Okay. Next, we'll hear from Dr. Williams, if you have a report on behalf of the superintendent.
Oh, no.
All right, then.
Believe me, no, I'm out.
Your message is come back soon.
Come back today, please.
All right, Mr. Palmerini, do you have a report for the board?
Yeah, a couple items really briefly. We just had our Florida School Board Attorneys Association conference. We got our annual legislative update from Brian Moore from the Florida Association of District School Superintendents. I also wanted to give my sincere thanks to Leanne Blackmore, who joined me in presenting about the practical realities of impasse. And so she was invaluable in helping me with that. So I wanted to thank her publicly. So that's item one. Item two is you all are seeing me sitting up here because Amy Enval has tendered her resignation. I've worked with her for a long time, over 2 stints. I consider her to be a very good friend. This has been very difficult for those of us in the legal department. We are obviously sad to see her go. We are obviously happy if she's going on her new adventure. But I wanted to say thank you to her for all of her contributions over the last 5 years and before that when she was here with us. She will be missed and by all of us in the legal department, and I will miss my friend going forward. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Palmerini. Yes, and she's not here with us tonight, but I know we'll all individually have an opportunity to thank her for her service. But in addition to how many years has she been with us in this position? Is it 5 already? Wow. Wow, that went fast. In the 5 years that she's served as general counsel, she also served us previously before she went to, was it Brevard, I believe, correct? And Ms. Emval also started as a teacher. And so she's a great example of working your way up and showing her leadership and her commitment to public education. And we're very grateful to that, and we wish her well in her future endeavors. Let me ask if we have any committee reports. All right. I do. I have one thing I want to ask of the board. The superintendent at the last meeting mentioned several times the presentation they had from our IT director, senior director, executive leader, I don't know. Yes, no, I know his name, but I'm trying to remember exactly. I said director, senior director, executive leader, chief of, yes, Mr. Dragon. Yes, CIO, thank you, Mr. Dragon. The presentation he gave at the cabinet meeting, and I know I was very interested in it, and I wanted to see, rather than us individually asking for that presentation, if several members were interested, then we'll try to schedule a work session around everybody's calendar. I think that, yeah, great. Okay, just wanted to check. Oh, you think technology-wise we can handle that? I'm just that is a great idea to be able to do it virtually. Okay, so I was, easier than trying to figure out a way to send an email through somebody to make sure I don't violate the sunshine. So we will work on in getting that set up. If there are any specific questions that you have, I'm sure it would always be helpful. He's not here with us right this moment, but to know ahead of time any specific questions. But otherwise, I think he's quite prepared to give us that presentation. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just, on the subject of AI, I wanted to let you know that the Florida School Boards Association has a ad hoc committee that they just formed, and it's all going to be about AI in education, so that they can help inform school board members about what's out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I have recommended that they reach out to Member Salamanca to put her on that committee, since she is our resident AI guru, venture capitalist, and all things education.
That one sounds more exciting than the previous one you were talking about.
I just want to let you know. So I think it was just a good segue. Everybody is looking at this. All you know. It's our future. Thank you.
We're going to bring that Stanford professor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And a great, another resource to the district has been Mr. Mueller, who met with our CIO, and he is now serving on a AI committee for UCF, where he's currently employed. You all may not know that. Huh?
We should get him on our committee too.
Yes, they've just created. Yes, we should. Yeah. So yes, that's why I wanted to bring it up when you mentioned that. Okay, and I'm going to call on Member Salamanca, but just last week I learned from Member Salamanca about a AI tool I was not aware of at all, that I've had an opportunity to check out, and I'm using it, and I love it, and thank you. So, Member Salamanca, you're recognized.
It was Perplexity. Well, it's one of the AI bots, but it cites all of its sources.
I didn't feel like I should throw their name out there without.
That was the one I said.
But
the reason why I liked it,
residuals was what I was thinking.
We've used it, is it cites all of its sources, and one of the things with AI is that you never know where it comes from. So it's a great one. There's a lot of great ones, so we're not in any way endorsing that one only, but it's just the one that we were working with. Okay, two things. I just wanted to say thank you a ton for the team who worked on the Code of Conduct. I know we spent a lot of time up here in the last minute of the hour of this policy. It is not at all a reflection on the work and time you spend with us, because you definitely were incredibly thorough and walked us through every bit of the different parts and mechanisms. I think the board has had an evolution in our thinking about all of this, and so thank you for the work, for the clarification, for all of the data you've provided us. And I'm looking forward to continuing the discussion on the code of conduct and all things pepper spray. I think it is definitely an evolving topic, but it is not at all anything. I think that team did a phenomenal job this year. Some of the changes in the code of conduct truly were needed. We were very excited about it, and they were incredibly responsive to that. We are creating kind of the OCPS AI workshop group as well, so I will be joining that, and every board member also nominated folks, so that's going to be exciting. And what was the last thing? I had something else, but it's okay. I forgot it. I'll marry next time.
I nominate R.J. Mueller.
Oh, the other one was, I have it.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
he will be on that. Because
Well,
he's
I
been sitting on
nominated
ours.
him.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I figured.
good. Okay, yeah.
The other one was I spent time with my fellows today, and they all made LinkedIn connections, and they made LinkedIn accounts. So as they speak to people in the school district, or any of you out there, you might get LinkedIn requests as they meet you. So keep an eye out for those LinkedIn requests. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Salamanca, and thank you so much for recognizing the great teamwork on this, especially because I know we're going to be asking for more research. And it's always nice to say thank you before me say, please help. But no, I echo the words. It was a lot of work and a lot of patience listening to us mull through this as well. General Counsel, or Deputy General Counsel, you're recognized.
Miss Blackmore was actually in the back, and she was standing, so I didn't see her. So I just wanted to make sure she was recognized. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any further business to come before the board? All right. Seeing none, the meeting is now adjourned. Up. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. No, that was a quick before we lose.
Bridget ready to get up out of here.